My beautiful, beautiful friends. Now it's just me and you, chat. And also JMill and Pete. That's right. We're back with more 70-star GSA action. It is Division 2 once again. That was an exciting race. Vape Gang coming out. Cannot wait for some action. Looks like looks like we've got another interesting lighting setup for Pete's webcam. But definitely going to be a mad psyching race. Cannot wait for these players to get into it. Looks like they're going to start off right away. And yeah, Pete not showing much expression, but JMill very much engaged. Certainly looking at something here on a second monitor. Looks like Pete taking a bit of an edge in the cutscene gang. But yeah, not much going on here at the start of the run. For those less familiar, in the beginning cutscene, there isn't really all that much you can do. The controller inputs don't do anything. You don't have control of Mario the character. Generally speaking, you just kind of watch here and let the cards fall as they may. We're gonna get started. Indeed. Pete's webcam brought to you by the lighting department at HBO. Looks like a clean lock skip from both players. And it seems like we're going to be headed into Bob-omb Battlefield, which is an interesting choice. It is the only choice. It is physically impossible to enter any other level without using the backwards long jump, which is banned in 70-star. JMill having a lot of movement trouble here at the start of the run. Giving a little nod, just saying, okay, that happened, and we're gonna figure out some more. Chat asking where the commentator's camera is. Actually accidentally turned on his camera right before the stream started for the previous race, so that could have been bad. But fortunately, our RV streamer on the ball, absolute master, juggling 3-4 different people, sending in different kinds of feeds at the same time. We're gonna get some predictions in from chat. Yeah, just to notify everyone. Ooh, a 12.9 coming out from Pete, and a 12.8 from JMill. This race is live. This is happening. Everyone that you are seeing or hearing on screen is a real person and not a figment of races past. So this qualifies as current events. We are not recounting history. JMill just a little bit behind his opponent. And Pete gonna be going here for Alice first. Looks like JMill doing cannonless first. Left side cannonless, right side Alice, just like the last race. Clean Alice from Pete, but JMill misses cannonless. Gonna have to back it up here with a shoot into the wild blue. Oh, this is kind of rough. You have to move back right when you're readjusting for that jump, and little bit of frustration coming out. Clearly, unfortunately. But Pete gonna be going for a slightly safer cannonless. At least that's what other people tell me. I've always found texture setup to be easier, unironically. But I apparently am in a minority of runners there. But I envy people who can do a sock folder really clean. Oh no, and JMill missing this again. Gonna have to just make this go down, and not even getting the ledge grab. Oh, this is a rough start to the run from JMill. Finally picking up that ledge grab, not doing the jump readjustment. Clearly trusts himself. and does finally pick up that cannonless. Tough start. Womp's Fortress definitely a crowd-hated level, especially like the better you get at running 70, especially the less runners tend to like Womps. It is a very difficult level to play optimally. Pete, meanwhile, having a pretty clean 100 coin. Looks like Pete actually went for the intermediate movement. Ooh, missing that coin. Little bit of flub. Another flub. JMill nailing Alice, getting back into the swing of things. And Pete getting a couple flubs there, but overall a really clean intermediate 100 coin. I say intermediate, but it is a very difficult cycle to make still. Not quite so unforgiving as the pro cycle, but definitely not an easy version of the star, but saves a lot of time. Looks like JMill getting a solid cycle here. JMill, it looks like, actually did... Is this right? No, I think JMill also did intermediate movement. Yeah, for sure, JMill did intermediate movement. Now Pete going up here to the top of Womps to face off against Womp to chip off that block. And JMill going to be cleaning up Hundo, picking up that red coin star. And Womp, honestly, quite frankly, I think that Womp gets a bit of a bad rep in this game. If you actually took the time to read his text box, which speedrunners don't really have the time to do, but if you're a casual player and you read Womp's text box, he actually has a pretty legitimate gripe with society. He is a sentient slab of concrete, and doesn't quite get the moral consideration that we give to other kinds of humanoids. And because he looks like other kinds of concrete that aren't necessarily alive, probably is getting misused for paving, for roads, gets chopped up, gets put into grinders and cement grinders. Definitely not a humane thing to be doing. So Womp actually expressing a pretty legitimate gripe, rising up in some form of righteous revolution. And unfortunately, Plumberman not really having any time to engage with the humanity of the issue. Meanwhile, Pete actually going for a pro slide here. I think this might be a 12-7. Yep. Nice clean 12-7. JMill cleaning up Womps here. And JMill going to be heading into the slide. Pete nailing that lag reduction. Now there's a bit of a time save here in wing cap. When you dip down, you can pick up those first 2 coins nice and fast. If you miss those coins, it's not a big deal. You just lose a little bit of time. But the better you are, the more consistent you are, the more consistently you save time. Wow, and Pete barely picking up the hitbox on that 7th coin. Very, very masterful movement from him. And ooh, trying to get the switch landing, but not quite able to. Oh, and misses the star grab box. Oh my god. No pun intended, flying a little close to the sun and getting burned. The sun, of course, a star with a much bigger hitbox, of course. Strictly speaking, probably flying close to the sun and not getting burned would be the more apt analogy, because he clearly did not hit the star's hitbox. And Pete missing the switch a little bit. That's going to have some implications in cycle movement. JMill also missing the text box skip. Text box skip, not a huge deal, honestly, but it is one of the more humiliating things. Kind of like bonking and castle movement. You don't lose all that much time, but it does have an effect on your mentality for sure. Mistakes that are considered easy not to make, even though they're not necessarily easy not to make. are the ones that have a toll on your mentality. Pete, meanwhile, doing a bit of a half cycle, like a poverty shake here. And yep, JMill coming in here, a slightly cleaner start to his Bowser in the Dark World. Ooh, and JMill actually getting a little bit tripped up, and that's going to mess up his cycle. Looks like we are looking at a poverty shake or a half cycle here. And half cycle really is just the next cycle, honestly. And misses the coin as well. And gets amped and just insult to injury. Pete gonna be grabbing this coin. Doesn't even get the coin with the kick. Kicks up onto the platform. Mercifully gonna be cleaning up the Dark World. And gonna pick up that star and head over into the Bowser fight. I will say this for Dark World, getting bad cycles is really, really annoying and frustrating, but most of the time I feel like once you get through Dark World without dying or bonking against anything and you pick up that red point star, it kind of does a bit of a reset on the mentality. At least that's my experience. So hopefully nothing too big going to be happening in terms of the mentality game. Pete having a very clean sky jump, not giving much room for his opponents. But JMill not all that far behind. Definitely having a bit like what feels like a nightmare run. But the lead is far from insurmountable. This is like maybe 30, 45 seconds. Like the amount of time that JMill has lost, you can easily lose in WOMPs in a marathon. Like in WOMPs and still not even be having like all that bad of WOMPs for a run. So definitely not down and out for sure. Pete here in CCM doing wall kicks will work. Will they work? They do work. JMill having a super clean skybox. Chat stating that Mario speaks Italian on the PAL version. Very interesting. Certainly the preferred version for many of our Sunshine runners. Commentator telling absolute falsehoods and lies. Prevaricating to the chat. Having a nice clean baby penguin. Not sure if he got the Z movement. The Z movement, basically, there's a Z press that allows you to skip a little bit of animation, saves a tiny bit of time. JMill going to be saving this penguin. Now, JMill typically in Emulator Runner does pick up N64 from time to time, especially to compete in these races, and definitely adjusting to like the lag reductions and stuff. Certainly not having any trouble with those. Very, very happy to see kind of the quality of the differences between N64 and EMU. Sometimes go amiss from people who don't run N64, but there's a lot of little things that you have to do when you're running on N64, and it's always cool to see someone from a different platform just absolutely be on the ball with the platform differences. Pete going to be running back up and be racing Mr. Big Penguin. Missing one coin there. And I'm not sure if he warped up with 19 or with 21 coins. Looks like he did warp up with 21 coins, so he has 2 more coins to miss, ideally. It looks like he's going to miss both of them. So there are 82 coins, sorry, there are 76 coins in the slide, or 77 coins in the slide. So if you enter with 24 coins, you can miss 1. If you enter with 26 coins by getting the safety coin, you can miss 3. And a lot of runners will opt for 26 just to be super safe in a race. You do not want to have to retake this race. But JMill actually opting to save a little time over his opponent, entered with 24 and can only miss 1. Looks like has had 0 mistakes, so vindicated in that decision. And winds up with 85 before this final stretch of 15 coins. Commentator reveling in the arithmetic of it all. And Pete going to be entering into Binny's big house. Into the brew hut for a brouhaha with Big Blue, or Boo. Oh, actually, gonna be doing balcony first. Yeah, commentator trying to be unbiased, but chat clearly showing its bias towards certain runners. I'm not going to say that's like totally unethical for a chat to be biased, partly because it's not. Chat can root for whomever the heck they want. And JMill, which one does he go for first? Looks like JMill also does balcony first. Very interesting. Pete, meanwhile, entering into doing his tryout for EVO 2020. Absolutely smacks down Big Boo. And Pete could be headed into basement. JMill doing everything he can to stay kept up here in the race. Still has the same deficit he had leaving CCM, but as long as he continues on this path and doesn't make any major mistakes, he always has a decent chance to catch up. This lead is not it's not basement proof, and it's not tippy proof, and it's not even upstairs proof. This is a deceptively slim lead. This is an amount of time that is losable at pretty much every juncture of the run. Some members of chat not even cheering for anyone. Good to see some enlightened radical centrists. Keep picking up a little bit of a bomb there. Nice clean bomb grab. This angle is a little bit scary, but looks like Pete kind of used to it. Finds it pretty easy to do. And once you clear the quicksand, that angle is actually optimal, because you don't have to worry about the fence or any of that guard. JMill picking up the MIPS star, going to be heading here into SSL, contending with a perfect pillarless from Pete. So properly primed precision from Pete. And JMill, meanwhile, not able to hit him. Just throws that bomb away. Definitely a fan of that. Gonna save a little extra time. No, doesn't make this talent start. And is gonna fall off and die. And JMill, exasperated laugh there. Glad to see him laugh it off. These, especially SSL, can get a little bit almost funny. JMill missing another jump throw on the bomb. Was way ahead of that vulture, so decided to just go for the shining atop the pyramid. But yeah, there are a few things, in my opinion, more frustrating in speedrunning this game, aside from like bonking and castle movement and stuff. But jokes aside, like there are a few things more frustrating in this game than dying during a backup. That is, in my opinion, probably like the worst feeling in the world, is when you go through all of this skill to set up a backup and then you just die anyway and you lose the maximum amount of time. JMill picking up his Talon, having more trouble with that pillarless. Looks like tried to dive, but wound up letting go of the bomb. Interested to see what he goes for here. At his level, I would expect him to just keep retaking pillarless. And does get a dive here. Oh man. I always get really scared seeing that movement, but looks like JMill also handled it pretty seamlessly. Not gonna have to worry about having no more backups. Pete, meanwhile, picking up his second star here in Lethal Lava Land. Or Land, as Shia calls it. Ooh, JMill saving frames over his opponent. Oh no, and losing them back. Oh goodness. JMill did get the speed kick, which saved time over Pete. Pete did not get the speed kick. Rolled out a little bit too hard and did not have the room to make the jump happen. But then JMill got the booty burn. So yeah, JMill significantly behind his opponent here. Definitely still not insurmountable, but ball is in Pete's court, or rather Pete has control of the ball. Commentator really trying to find the best sport to paint a metaphor to. Balls in courts, certainly not a very apt analogy for speedrun races because quite frankly, one player's performance doesn't affect the difficulty of another player's performance. Pete dodging that bully, very clean lava boost coming out. But Pete in the driver's seat for sure. JMill doing the long jump version of the easy boost. Insists that it is actually easier than the triple jump setup. Pete gonna be taking the elevated tour, and ooh, the full-on dive straight to the top platform. Doesn't want to mess with any of the intermediaries. And JMill, wow. Oh my goodness. Bonking against one of those intermediate platforms is always the scariest feeling in the world. As Pete cleans up LLL and is going to be heading into direst of docks. Very interesting. We had an American and a German playing last game. And we had an American and German commentator while JMill struggles with this bully, decides to back it up with bully star. And now that we have only Americans, we have an American commentator. The non-Americans have left. Chat asking what star Pete could fail on that might make JMill catch up. So there probably isn't a specific star. The most likely is a kind of a disastrous showing in a specific level. It is possible to lose that much time in TTM just because there's so many different places you can fall. Pete actually missing the star. Little movement errors do lose minutes at a time if they stack up. So if your quality of play deteriorates, and JMill, no! JMill actually missing the long jump and gonna have to figure it out. Figure out re-entering the stage as he does take a little death. But TikTok clock, probably the most likely place to lose that kind of volume of time, especially because Rainbow Ride, deaths are more common in Rainbow Ride, but they're far less consequential because the stars are so short that if you take a death, you're only losing like 20-30 seconds at a time. But TTC, it's one of those things where you can make mistakes. Like a mistake in TTC will lose more time than death in Rainbow Ride a lot of the time. Because if you fall to the bottom in the middle of TTC 100, you got to climb all the way back up, or you have to back up a star and then you die. Like those are the kinds of things that are much more realistic to happen. So TTM and TTC, I think, are probably the most likely places that JMill could catch up. That said, we are about to enter into Fire Sea after this Manta Ray Star. So Fire Sea is another place where time loss can pile on. Cycle differences are a little bit heavier than other cycle-based movements in the game. Most cycles typically you lose like somewhere between 4 and 10 seconds, but you can go up to like 12, 15 here in Fire Sea just because of how long it takes the elevator to rise and fall. But certainly it's going to be up to Pete to nail these movements, and if he makes any mistakes, that's going to leave some space for JMill to catch up. Gets a firstie, and that's going to be a good start. Gets a little Baguma bot. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if he can make early elevator cycle. I don't think he can anymore. It's not like a crazy tight cycle, but it's tight enough that if you make a major mistake like that, maybe if he does the rest of his lava boost movement, it is like remotely imaginable. And we're gonna see. He has to have a perfect movement on the elevators, and yep, definitely not. Oh, it wasn't even close actually, so he is gonna have to wait it out. Couple ground pounds there for luck. Is gonna get the top movement, but not gonna be able to get the good ending. Oh my goodness. All right, Pete gonna be very, very careful here. Yeah, see, at this point, losing over a cycle actually made the normal cycle, but even lost the good ending for the next levitating platforms, the pole platforms right there. So actually losing an entire cycle on those platforms. So very, very rough Fire Sea coming out from Pete __. Gonna be heading into this Bowser fight. JMill gonna be able to make up a little bit of time here if he has good movement. Oh my goodness! Pete styling on Bowser here. A couple of swag strats coming out, nailing the Bowser throw. JMill's movement nice and clean though. Looks like JMill going to be making a pretty clean early Ellie's. Not sure if he can do Lava Boost, but we'll find out. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be doing a regular early Ellie's. Oh no! Oh no, not going to be making this cycle. That is so rough. Can still save time over his opponent though. Pete had a nightmare ending. If JMill can get a good ending, he is primed for it. Even still, he can probably get a good ending. Oh no, not with that though. Still viable to save time. And it looks like he will be saving time. Oh my goodness! Oh, and the applause coming out didn't actually have enough speed going through those hearts, and didn't pick up enough health, and this is devastating for JMill. He was on track to save time, was going to be headed for a good ending, but you need more health than that, especially if you take multiple burns coming up into the heart. And for those of you who don't know, if you're running the game and you're trying to figure out how to work those hearts, how much health you regain from those hearts is determined entirely by the speed at which you run through the hearts. So at that particular heart, specifically at that heart, oh my god, JMill is struggling here. Specifically at that heart, you're going to land on it with very little forward momentum, which means that you have to run through it again if you... Sorry, you're going to have to run through it again if you want to do the double lava bounce. JMill going to be making normal elevator cycle again, and now just really, really far behind his opponent. Let's see if he can get this good ending at least. Oh no, it's not going to happen. Still getting a better ending than he did. but with a death to boot. And Pete's just running away with this run, honestly. I haven't seen any significant mistakes. Finally going to be going for 100 coin. 100 coin at the higher levels, 100 coin is probably the hardest star in this level. At least that's generally what I've seen. Just because the RNG is something that is impossible to control for. So as you optimize all the other stars and get really consistent at them, 100 coin, because it's so RNG heavy, and we're seeing that right now in how far off the skill was. The RNG in this coin is something that no amount of skill will ever account for, and sometimes you're just gonna have bad RNG. Looks like the RNG has been pretty manageable for Pete though. JMill cleaning up with Bowser in the fire seat, but at this point is going to be hard pressed to catch up in this run. We're gonna have to see a pretty characteristic Tippy. Not characteristic for Pete, but characteristic for Tippy is what I mean. And Pete actually missing the star box break, or the coin box break. And nope, doesn't have any issues. Even gets a stylish little roll out there, which you can only do as a backup. Can do the risky chuck yeah, because he has not missed a coin. Oh, missed a coin there. And JMill going into what travel? Ooh, missing a swipe there. We're going to see Pete headed here into Tiny Huge Island. Better RNG has JMill than his opponent. We're definitely more than halfway through. I generally treat Bowser in the Fire Seat as the quote-unquote halfway point of the run. It is a little more than halfway. Typically speaking, DDD, somewhere around DDD is a halfway point. In the perspective of stars, we are about halfway through. Pete, meanwhile, having a nice and clean secret star. In terms of star, this is kind of the halfway point, but the later you get in the run, the faster the stars get. Aside from Womp's Fortress, the earlier part of the run, the stars are really, really, really long. That's why you don't see CCM or more of the DDD stars or more of the SSL, or not SSL, sorry, or the BOB Sky Jump and things like that. You don't see any of that in 16 star, the shorter categories. Simply because the stars there are way longer. So generally speaking, the latter 35 stars, the latter half of the stars you get, are much, much, much faster. Like it takes about 30 minutes to get the first 35 stars, and then it takes 20 minutes to get the second 35. On average, for like a 50-minute runner. JMill going to be going for this express elevator. Pete having a little bit of struggles here on the top of THI. Breaking the box movement, but gonna be as per the conceit of the star, breaking the box. JMill meanwhile breaking boxes of his own, but these boxes are not actually going to help him. They're going to cause a little bit of frame lag, and that's going to, oh my goodness. Not sure if that was due to frame lag. We are seeing a little bit of lag coming out, and that is so rough. Definitely want to be careful generally when you're in a run. Try to not break these boxes, but it does happen sometimes. The hitbox is really, really big. Meanwhile, Pete heading into TTM, so an entire level and a half on his opponent. Super, super rough. And Pete missing the movement. And just not able to get this dive. Oh, I'm playing super scared there. Certainly don't blame him after 2 misses and falls into the water. But picking the momentum back up. This is a very momentum-based star. You want to have all of the cameras, all of the positioning. You want to have Mario exactly where you want to have Mario exactly in the same spot every time because it's very input-heavy. We joke a lot about scripts, but there are certain stars where the inputs are so specific in order to get the optimized movement, that you kind of are operating on a script. You want the camera to be on a specific place, Mario to be in a specific position. You want to do the same inputs every time, because if you make a mistake on those mushrooms, you're going to die. And Pete doing a great job backing up the movement and setting the camera exactly where he wants it. JMill, meanwhile, going here into THI, which does stink. THI stinks. THI is terrible. So, having gone 3 weeks since my last PB, I probably have that opinion about every level. Every level in 70 star is my least favorite level. JMill having a clean secrets. Except BBH. BBH is free. Meanwhile, only now going for that mountain clip. Or going for his mountain clip stars. Gonna be cleaning up the second one here, top of the mountain. Very interesting. I would always generally I always prefer to do mountain clip first. Because if you ever fail the mountain clip, if you fall into the water, if you fall off the mountain, those are all times that you can back up with things like Blast of the Lonely Mushroom, you can back up with reds. I like to have those backups kind of in place. Of course, when you're one of these players and you're actually good at this game, you don't have to worry about constantly backing up every single star. Interesting how that works out. Pete going to be blasting to the Lonely Mushroom. Meanwhile, JMill could be heading for it, has his eyes on that box. Both of these players, North American, we're going to see how good their aim is. Ooh, a little bit of a rough showing from JMill, but gets the clip. And perfect movement on the clip, so it's going to be saving time over the running around. I believe that the clip saves less than a second, if done perfectly. But the mistake JMill made had nothing to do with the clip, so would have saved that time. Or did save that time. So Pete heading here into SSL, just continuing to keep an entire level's lead over JMill. And TTM, probably the longest level that you're going to see going forward. I'm not sure if TTM is longer than TTC. TTC obviously has way more stars, has 7 stars versus TTM's 5. In terms of time, I'm not sure which is longer. I guess probably TTC a little bit longer. I think TTM's like a little under 4 minutes. But done optimally. JMill cleaning up this breathtaking view from the bridge. Or as I call it, the Cascade Star. Keep bonking here on this box. But either way, all that's to say is that when you're an entire TTM ahead of your opponent, that is one of the longer levels in the way to run. So that is a significant lead to have. So we are solidly into the minutes in terms of the lead. But again, all runs must tippy, and there's so much that can go wrong. Even at the top levels. I've seen players with 48s lose 4 or 5 minutes at a time here in tippy, so it is not out of reach. Chatter's posting food emotes, and Commentator is suddenly very, very much aware of the inside of his mouth because it started watering. JMill, very interesting camera movement. That was really... I saw his cheeks puff up. I think that JMill was as scared as nervous about that. Very interesting. But that was a scary, scary blast. Partly because of the camera movement, which obviously is our problem, not his. Clean Red's movement so far. Oh my goodness! Oh, but misses the coin! And has to be very careful picking it up. He can bonk against that ceiling and die. And it's gonna hurt coin. Oh, that is rough. Not quite able to get the double jump movement there. And just gonna be getting back up here. Pete having a clean second mips. And JMill mercifully finishing up this reds. At this point, only has mysterious mountainsides to do. And unless he like pulls a breezeless out of his sleeve, not gonna have much more time to save over his opponent here in TTM. Oh my goodness, he's going for breezeless. Oh man, the God Gamer goes for it, but sadly it was not meant to be here. How pog would that have been though? Pete, meanwhile, looking for a miracle. Did get a pretty high jump there and nails it. So the trick to Christmas Miracle is you have to get the wall kick at the peak of your jump. And I'm pretty sure it has to be a second or third frame wall kick. And once you get over the wall, if it's at the peak of your jump, then you'll fall far enough into the water that you'll hit the ground and you'll punch the switch. Otherwise, you have to do a little kick. Oh my goodness, JMill missing the whirl from the freezing pond, opting not to whirl, but instead bump his head against the wall. But yeah, if you wind up missing that wall kick, and Pete missing triple box jump multiple times, keeps retaking it, finally gets it a little bit far forward, not going to hit that death zone. But yeah, if you miss that Christmas Miracle movement, you do have to just do a little double jump wall kick against that cage, and that's going to let you pick up, not wall kick rather, it's a double jump literal kick up against the wall, and that's going to let you hit the switch. And Pete, meanwhile, so the reason that triple box jump works is that HMC actually has no ceilings. So you can jump over the top of the wall, but it's a very precise trick. Pete retaking it multiple times. Not a lot of runners actually have the skill to be able to retake that kick. Many runners will just have to back it up by going through the door and doing easier strats. Oh, and JMill missing the triple jump. Oh, this is rough. And I can't reiterate this enough. Like Pete's play is solid in maintaining this run, but he is making movement errors, and JMill is too. But this lead is not being widened, and there is plenty of comeback opportunity available. And Pete continuously bonk. JMill having a clean bully star. And at this point, JMill is saving a little bit of time over his opponent. There is a lot of time still to lose in the run, so don't count anyone out quite yet. That said, Pete's heading into Tippy, and JMill is only just now going in the basement for HMC, so it is a tall order. But we're gonna see how this Tippy turns out, and you're gonna see pretty quickly if this lead is indeed insurmountable, if this lead is indeed insurmountable, little portmanteau from your commentator there, you're gonna see it pretty quick. Pete's gonna clean up these stars, gonna head into TTC, gonna have a clean TTC. But if Pete starts to drop some spaghetti, as Italian plumbers are wont to do, yeah, we're going to see a couple of opportunities here. Pete going for that ledge grab, not doing the double kick. I believe JMill does do the double wall kick. I guess that's not really a portmanteau, unfortunately, because mount, insurmountable, and mountain are both rooted in the word mount. Surmount, mount. So strictly speaking, I'm just mixing up words. Pete missing swinging in the breeze, really creating opportunities for his opponent. The best words. In this American versus American race, we're seeing the commentators show off the absolute gems of the American vocabulary with words like insurmountable and ooh. Pete gonna be going for tricky triangles here. It looks like having a very clean rainbow ride. Not much in the way of room. Did have to back up swinging into the breeze, and had a ledge grab on Lakitu bounce, but overall, not a lot of Kafifi. Apparently, Commentator just gonna say words that he reads in chat in the middle of a sentence, and JMill actually missing Christmas Miracle. Not a good situation. And Pete, actually having a little bit of trouble here. In red's gonna have to back it up. Clean backup though. Oh, Pete even minimizing the time losses he is having. JMill, meanwhile, one more star to go. Still should not count himself out. Even if Pete has a very clean tippy, JMill has multiple points up for grabs as long as he finishes within 5 minutes of his opponent. Bing, bam, boom, getting the rolling rocks out of the way, missing the Starbucks on the rollout, not a huge deal. But in this situation, every little mistake can weigh down. Hopefully, JMill able to maintain perspective on the race, understand, listen, there's points up for grabs, and these little mistakes aren't a huge deal. Let's just get through. Maybe Pete will make a mistake. And Pete looks like doing the... looks like opted for Toad before TTC, as he is doing the moving stars first. And he's just cleaning up these moving stars, but the real time loss is yet to come. If it is to come, it's going to come in TTC 100. Oh no, JMill missing Lakitu bounce and just falling apart. Doesn't have to wall kick here, so that's a bit of a consolation. And a very clean movement on the tricky triangles. And Pete cleaning up these moving stars is going to be heading here into the 100 coin star. This is the big hurdle, folks. Pete has minutes ahead of his opponent. If he has a nightmare of a TTC hundo, JMill can come back, and this is the place that will happen if it does happen. Oh, Pete actually doing red coins first. Opts for 100 coin last. Not a huge deal. Losing a little time there, takes a little fall. Does a little dance. Basically gets down to that. And Pete, missing the ground pound and just tiny little movement errors, but overall maintaining his lead here in the run, and JMill getting Lakitu bounce. Oh, chat clarifying for Commentator that Pete just went in too early. Which is a good thing for JMill, because it means that Pete still has to pick up that Toad Star, and any number of things. Gets the bonk. Any little edge that JMill can use to get more points. And if Pete, and Bits is not free, TTC 100 is not free, so anything can happen, but at the very least, every mistake that Pete makes is an opportunity for JMill to get points here. Here we are, the last course. The 100 coin star, stomp on Thwomp. Here we go. One kick. Pete getting backup coins. Very stylish. Or I guess stylish is the wrong word. Very safe. And Pete missing the side flip here. JMill actually opting for Todd first. Fascinating choice by him. Pete nails the triple jump wall kick. Pretty much the most scary part of the middle part of this, as D whatever was saying earlier. And Pete gonna hop in here, and Notorious Invis wall out here. Is he gonna hit it? Nope, he's actually gonna play super safe. and does have the extra backup coin, so doesn't have to go for that. And just a very clean TTC 100. So looks like Pete headed here for a very, very solid 51. Granted that he has a decent... Oh, actually, this is probably going to be a 52. It's possible. Depends how fast his Toad and his movement up into the pipe is. But most likely going to be a low 52. Cleaning up these moving stars. On to the last one. Clean triple jump wall kick. And doesn't roll into the cage, but rather hops into it. Some PP hops in chat for JMill hopping into that moving star. And Peter, here in Bowser in the Sky, not getting optimal movement. We're going to see what kind of second level moving he goes for. Moving left, moving right. Looks like he's going to go super safe. Doesn't quite get the triple jump. Oh my goodness, losing a lot of time here. That triple jump is very, very free, but when you on the rare occasion that you miss it, it's very difficult to recover from because you got to do a lot of pole clipping. Oh my goodness, Pete taking a fall, and JMill taking a fall as well. Oh gosh, that must have been on TTC 100. That is so rough. JMill going for moving reds here? Oh my gosh, the style is coming out. Not quite able to. He does have another go at it. Not quite able to catch the edge of the platform. Pete, meanwhile, gets the break. Does get the break. And has one more, and is not going to get it. He's going to miss it. So if he misses about 20, 25 more, JMill has a fighting chance. Looks like JMill just opted to go for 100 coin. Can still get points. JMill definitely within range of getting points. Has 4 more stars to go here. So overall, probably taking about a little over 4 minutes. Simp Gang coming in with the raid. Shout outs to Simply. Simp Gang, Bait Gang, all in the house. So JMill does have the ability to get points if he has a clean ending here to TTC 100. It's going to be tight. And it looks like JMill's hunkering down. Gonna be going for try to get as clean an ending to this run as possible. Has 2 more stars to go. That'll be about a minute. Including the red coin. Not going to be going for moving reds. Probably well advised. But yeah, with a good bit, can rack up some inspiration points here. And going to be important. It is the start of the league. No amount of points is too few. Every little thing counts, and if you get into a big tiebreaker at the end, how much like that extra 5 seconds, like you finish 4 minutes 55 seconds behind your opponent, and those 5 seconds of points That can make all the difference if you wind up in a tiebreaker, and it's entirely possible because we play a heck ton of matches. Pardon my French. JMill gonna be cleaning up here with these red coins. And is very much within striking distance, is gonna get that ground pound, and is gonna be in striking distance of a points-worthy finish. Unfortunately, not going to have time for an interview. JMill going to be going straight here into Bowser in the Sky. But do not despair. For once JMill cleans up here, we have even more action coming at you here in the 70-star Division 2. JMill taking a little extra time to set up this triple jump. If he dies, he does not get any points, but he has a little bit of buffer time. One hop, two hop, gets it up. Gets Mario up the slope, that is. Commentator. Just gonna breeze past that. And JMill gets onto the pole. Clearly just wants to get these points, doesn't want to fail anything. Wants to play super, super safe. But coming up next, we have Cartoon Buffoon versus Drogi. Two titans here in Division 2. And it's going to be brought to you by the OG commentary duo of GSA. We're going to have Simply and Pity joining up once again. Never say goodbye to these absolute gargantuans of the Global Speedrun Association. All four of them are people to wait around for. Do not go anywhere. JMill missing a throw here, but it's had a very clean Bowser in the Sky, so has a lot of time. Can still get plenty of points, or can still get points. Missing another throw. Oh, and this is rough. JMill's camera going offline. But as long as his Amarek does not change positions, gets one throw. Oh, gets it. All right. And props to JMill for finishing within 5 minutes of his opponent, locking in that 57, and is going to get a few commiseration points. So all is not lost for JMill. Shout outs to Pity for the host as well. Both Pity and Simply going to be joining us here, and yeah, props to JMill for finishing the run, locking in some points. Fantastic showing from Pete, just really, really solid running. And that is going to be it for me for now. I will be back in an hour, but until then, enjoy the luscious sounds of Pity and Simply bringing you Cartoon Buffoon versus Drogi SR. Absolutely exciting. I am Shantastic93. Thank you all for watching. And yeah, we'll see you in like 2 minutes.